Hey everybody, Joe here from the Scruffy Fam. I am not one to not admit when I may have made a mistake. So today we are going to review the Ruger American versus the Ruger American. What? What could we possibly be talking about? Well, today we are going to look at the basic model of the Ruger American, the cheapest Ruger American you can get for just over $400 at MSRPs for just around $500, and the most expensive Ruger American, which you can get anywhere from about $750 to $850, MSRPs for just under $1,000, the Ruger American Hunter. Right here. So, guys, if you like the content that you've been seeing, please go ahead, like, subscribe, hit that little bell notification. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm to get more of our videos out there. As I said, we are primarily an urban homestead, and this all kicked off when I did the comparison of the Ruger American and the Winchester XPR. And I said in that video, when it came to the Ruger American Hunter, you would be better off just spending the money on the Winchester XPR for a higher quality firearm. Well, I'm not one to not admit when I'm wrong, when I've made a mistake. And in this case, I will tell you, I think I may have made a mistake. So let's get into it. First off, we have the Ruger American, the standard model. This Ruger American right here is chambered in 243. This is the one that I bought for my wife. It is the very basic model. I put the scope on afterwards. This is just a Nikon Pro Staff that I've had for years. I put this on, okay, so that did not come with that. It was stripped down, and it shoots really, really well. If you look at it, let's take a really close look at this thing here. Look at the barrel. It's a cold hammer forged barrel. Very, very nice. It's kind of free floated. If you squeeze this, there's a lot of flex in this stock. This stock is very cheap. I said that in the review that I did before between the comparison of the two. It's a very, very cheap stock. It makes a lot of noise. I said I like the Tang safety on it. The bolt, I didn't like that on safe. It still retracts and goes forward. It's a 3-lug system, which is pretty good. I also talked about I'm not a big fan of this trigger here where it pushes in. I do like that you can adjust it down, which is nice, and I have done that. I've got this one down to, I think it was 3.5 pounds now, which is nice. So all of the things that I talked about previously with this rifle was that it's extremely budget friendly, extremely accurate with factory ammunition. If you find the grain and the ammo that these like, they are lights out. I mean, you're talking sub MOA, at least MOA with almost any factory ammo at 100 yards. That's pretty impressive for the cost of this rifle, okay? I personally am a huge Ruger fan. I own more Rugers than any other firearm, so that should tell you something. And I did say between this base model and the Winchester XPR base model that I would go with the Winchester XPR. It has a lot more upgraded features than the standard Ruger American does. And I'll still stick by that. If you went standard to standard, I would still say the Winchester XPR is a little bit better. Now, here's where I have to admit that I'm wrong. Let's move our friend, the standard Ruger American, out of the way, and let's talk about this thing, the Ruger American Hunter. Now this is chambered in 308, and yes, my XPR is chambered in 308, but let me tell you guys a quick story. So after I did that video between the XPR and the Ruger American, I ended up winning a contest where I got to select either this in a 6.5 Creedmoor or 308 Winchester, and I went with a 308 Winchester. I will talk about why in a completely separate video. I'm gonna do a couple videos on this rifle in particular. I just got this. I just got this day before yesterday. So 2 days ago, I just got this rifle. And my initial impressions were, holy cow, I was wrong. If you have the money to get this or the Winchester XPR, I would get this. Now let me tell you why. Now it's only offered in 2 chamberings. You can only get it in 308 or 6.5 Creedmoor. So those are both really good hunting rounds, both extremely effective, extremely efficient. If you were looking for something as your one do-all round, either one of those would work for whitetail and down. Absolutely, hands down, too easy. I would even say 308 would be good for elk and down, depending on your range. Now, let's talk about why this would be a better option, and why I think this is probably the best of all the Ruger Americans. Now, I haven't had a chance to take this to the range and shoot yet, but there's plenty of reviews of people taking this same platform out and shooting, and it shoots the exact same as all the other Ruger Americans. Super tight groups with the factory loads. Really awesome, awesome rifle. But let's talk about what makes this so much better. A lot. My biggest complaint against the Ruger American was the stock. Now, Ruger teamed up with Magpul Industries, and this is the Magpul American Hunter stock. This thing is awesome. It is completely adjustable. It's an M-LOK system, so let's get a little bit close. So there you see the M-LOK. It's adjustable, and let's talk about the adjustability here. So you can adjust the cheek height. This is the only thing that didn't come with the system. So you can adjust by putting these little spacers in or buying an entire new cheek comb here. I didn't need it. This actually works really well for me. In the back, you can extend your length of pull by adding spacers in. I actually did. It comes with this butt pad is super squishy too, by the way. This is pretty good. But I added an additional spacer to increase my length of pull. I like so that just the pad of my finger is on the trigger to pull back. It's better for your marksmanship. If you don't agree with me, comment down below why you don't, and then I'll do a video to explain why it's better. This also comes with the pre-curved for your slings. It's got the QD adapters on it. It's also pre-drilled or pre-buttoned if you want to drill into it and put in your sling studs. Let's see, what else? A pretty aggressive drop-down pistol grip, which I really like. I really like that. I think that's great. The other thing that it offers you is the Magpul magazine here, which is a 5-round magazine. This is pretty cool. And again, you've got the same trigger, and I've adjusted this one down. So let's verify I showed you the empty mag. Empty, there's nothing in there. Nothing in the magazine. Okay. Look at this trigger now. If I put it on fire. Here we go. Let's look at the trigger. That's it. That is it. It's insane. This is just under 3-pound trigger pull. I am very happy with that. It's nice. So what else can I tell you? Oh, it came with this Picatinny rail on it. I did have to tighten it down to match the specs. So I'd always recommend anytime you get these from the factory, anything you get from the factory, if you have a torque wrench, check the torque settings on them to make sure they're right, because sometimes they can get over tightened, which is bad, or under tightened, and then you don't want action screws or anything from your scope falling off while you're shooting. Not cool. So those things with the stock were pretty awesome, the Magpul stock. The Magpul stock, I think, comes in at about 3-ish pounds. Which isn't too bad. Actually, it's pretty funny if you look back at some of the Ruger American stock upgrades. this is one of them that people did. But let's talk about why I think this one is the best. It's not just because they did the stock upgrade, which is huge, because I think these MSRP for around $300. That's pretty cool, but check out this barrel. This is a heavy contour barrel. It's at about 1 inch at the break. This thing weighs 9 pounds. It's got some heft to it. And on the end, they've got their Ruger Precision muzzle brake on it, or hybrid, Ruger Precision hybrid muzzle brake. So it's got a threaded barrel. This one is in the charcoal or gray, if you want to call it that. This barrel is so big that it's going to take a long time for this to heat up. I am actually really excited to take this to the range. If you guys don't understand about heat on a barrel, the more rounds that you put through, the hotter your barrel gets. The hotter your barrel gets, the lower your accuracy gets. You can start getting drift. To put this in comparison, let's look at the barrel on the standard Ruger American. Look at this. That's the barrel for that. Let me see if I can set this up so you guys can see barrel to barrel. All right, so that's the barrel for the standard, okay? It's the barrel for the standard. There's my fingernail, just for reference. Now I'm gonna put the Hunter next to it. Okay, these are even with each other. You can see the Hunter's barrel above and below. That is how much of a difference. There you go. That's how much of a difference in the barrel you have between the two. That's going to be barrel life, heat, and accuracy are all going to be affected by this. Pretty awesome. So let me get to the why I think it's the best of all the Ruger Americans. Now, I have the standard, the Ruger American Standard that I've done stuff to. My son has the Predator, so the green stock one with the threaded barrel. I've seen the Ranch plenty. It's shortened down like this. This is an 18-inch barrel, by the way. It's shortened down like this, so I've got to see that and shoulder it and look at it. And then also the Go Wild, I've got to see those and shoulder them and look at them. And there's not a stark difference between them except for the stock and the threaded barrel. So the standard's the only one that doesn't come with a threaded barrel. The rest of them do. And if you took the barreled action of any of those and swapped them around with the regular Ruger American stocks, you wouldn't notice any difference at all. You still have a Ruger American with just a different color stock. This, big difference. This is the only thing that's the same about this Ruger American and the other ones is the action. So just this part here is the same. This barrel, the brake that it's got on there, the magazine well, the stock, none of that is the same. The reason this one costs so much more is because of all of those things, and you know what? I don't mind. So this Ruger American Hunter, I've got some plans with it. I wasn't expecting this rifle. I wasn't expecting this one at all. And so when I won this one, that kind of put me on a trajectory of, okay, what do I do now? So after talking to my wife and looking at a few things, I think I'm going to turn this one into a long-range precision rifle. Now, I will get an optic that I'll put on it. We'll do a couple things. I'm going to do some ammo testing. And so my goal with this one is to see how far I can shoot this one accurately with factory loads. And I want to do factory loads that are readily available to anybody. So we'll go to the 3 places I usually get ammo. I usually go to my gun shop, I go to Farm and Fleet, or I'll go to Cabela's. So one of those three is usually where I go to get ammo, and we'll see what they have on the shelf, and we will bring those out to the range and we'll shoot them out of this and see what we get. We'll see which ones it likes the best. We'll see at what ranges we can get this, and then we'll do a comparison of the 308s from the Winchester XPR and this Ruger American in 308, and we'll see what the difference is. And we'll compare what a precision rifle 308 versus a hunting rifle 308 can do. So, guys, I'm pretty excited and a little stumped on this, if you can't tell, but I'm not afraid to admit when I was wrong. If you guys are in the market for a new rifle and you've got anywhere between $750 and $850, you know, I would highly recommend looking at the Ruger American Hunter. It's heavy. It is heavy. Once I get an optic on it, this is going to be 10 pounds. But that weight is going to lead to reduced recoil, better target focus, and easier follow-up shots. I'm so excited for this. It's been a long time since I've done any precision shooting, so the ability to, I can even add more weight to this to make it a more stable platform. I'm very, very excited. And that was my daughter. All right, guys, so next time that I'll bust this out is when we're going to the range. Right now we've got insane weather. Yesterday was a high of -4. Today the high is 9. It's actually Christmas Eve, so I want to wish all of you a wonderful Christmas. You guys won't see this for probably 2 weeks, but by then I may have an optic on here. I need to get some adapters for the M-LOK rails to put my bipods on, and I'll talk to you about my range setup for this bad boy. Still going out to go hunt in the next couple of days. I will be taking my XPR because it is ready to go and this is not, but I am excited about this, guys. If you're in the market, I would look really hard at this thing. This isn't going to be one of your backcountry ones, but if you're hunting out of a blind or a tree stand, I would take a hard look at this, because you're going to be able to spend some quality range time shooting this. You're going to have a very steady platform, and you can compare it to, I looked around at the price points for what the MSR, what they were selling this one for, and some of the other rifles that were out there. They had the Savage Axis, the other Ruger Americans, the Bergara B14, and the Browning AB3 composite, and the Winchester XPR. All of those were in that same realm as this, but all of them came with the stock chassis, barrels, actions, and while they all can shoot really well, the upgrades that are done at the factory for this one would cost you a pretty penny. So I would take a really long, hard look at the Ruger American Hunter and have some fun. So guys, we'll see you next time. Please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. Next up for this, we'll get the scope on it. I'm going to get an M-LOK adapter for my bipod. We'll get that ammo, and we'll take it to the range and see what we can do with this rifle. Super excited. I'll see you guys next time. Have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.